Just waiting for one more person to, all right. All right, she's having a little trouble joining. So we'll begin. Hopefully she can join soon. Okay, everybody, welcome to today's session. We are here with Fabiola Calderon from NYU Abu Dhabi. We are going to be talking about writing essays, tips and guidelines on writing essays. So just so you know, you're muted and your video is turned off. That will remain that way for the rest of the presentation. We will have a Q&A session at the end. So please type your questions. If you have questions in any part of the presentation, you can go ahead and just type them in the chat box, and we'll be answering that at the end of the presentation. This session will be available on our YouTube channel in case you want to watch it again, or if you want to recommend it to somebody else that is in need of tips on essays. And there is English closed caption available. So without further ado, okay, so this is our presentation on essay writing tips and guidelines. My name is Daniel Scarnati, Education USA Monterrey advisor. And again, Fabiola Calderon from NYU Abu Dhabi and the Institute of International Education. So let's just begin quickly with, there you go, with what is Education USA? So Education USA is a global network of advising centers, and we're part of the US Department of State and part of the department's Bureau of Education and Cultural Affairs. We have 23 Education USA advising centers in Mexico, and we provide free access to introductory information on studying in the United States. Our target market is students, higher education institutions, and governments and NGOs. There. What do we do? So we divide our services into 3 parts, okay? In-center, outreach, and virtual. So throughout the whole pandemic, obviously, we've been doing everything virtually, and we are just starting to come out into in-person services. So the in-center services are services that we provide, as the name says, in our center, physically in our center, which is at Relaciones Culturales, downtown in Monterrey. Okay, so there we have, we give info sessions just like this one, but in person. We have one-on-one sessions, we have workshops, and we also have official resources and study guides for studying in the United States. All that in the Benjamin Franklin Library at Relaciones Culturales. Outreach is when we go out of our center. So when we visit, for example, local education institutions like high schools or colleges, we can participate with info sessions as well, workshops, and also participate in mobility fairs. And last but not least, what we've been doing throughout the whole pandemic, and what we will still be doing to some extent, is virtual. So we also give one-on-one sessions, which are advising sessions with the students who want a private session. We give that. We have webinars such as this one, fairs, and also seminars. And for more information, you can find us at educationusa.state.gov. We do have some frequently asked questions here at Education USA. First one is, does Education USA grant scholarships? That is a yes and a no. So we do not grant scholarships in the, we don't pay for your college or graduate education. We don't pay for anything that has to do with education per se, but we do have one scholarship, which is called the Opportunity Funds Scholarship. And this scholarship, what it does, it covers the costs of the admissions process. So everything that has to do with the admissions process, or most of the things that has to do with the admissions process, for example, the admissions fees, the cost of exams, cost of studying for exams, translations, even plane tickets, all of the cost for your visa, all of this is covered by the Opportunity Funds Scholarship. The call out usually begins in December, and we close up in February usually. So make sure to follow us on social media, which is where we'll be promoting the scholarship when it is ready. Question number 2, do you provide support for exchange programs? Slightly, we can orient you into some facts, but this is mostly something that will be done through your own university. So for example, if you're studying college and you want to go on an exchange program to the United States for a semester, for a year, the easiest way to do that is to talk to your institution and ask if they have any relationships with other U.S. institutions, so they can have that the transfer of subjects of your courses easier, and you won't lose any credits. If not, then you're going to have to do that on your own. Do you offer English language courses? No, we don't. We can help you though study English in the United States, or if you're interested in studying English here in Mexico, our host institution, Relaciones Culturales, does offer English language courses, both in person and online. Do you have partnerships or agreements with specific U.S. colleges and universities? No, we don't. We have agreements with all accredited universities in the United States. So we do not promote any specific. We are open to work with all accredited colleges and universities, and we do have contact with all of them, or at least all that want to have contact with us. So we can help you find your best fit throughout the more than 4,000 different accredited institutions in the United States. And just so you know, our services, well, what we do at Education USA, we divide the admissions process into 5 parts, into 5 steps. So step number 1 is research your options. This is when you will be researching what universities are your best fit. Finance your studies is step number 2. This is when you're going to make your budget and see how much you can pay, and if you're going to need financial aid, how much you will be needing, how much aid you will be needing to study in the United States. Step number 3 is complete your application. So this is when you start your application process, studying and presenting exams, your essays, transcripts, etc., etc., etc. Step number 4 is applying for your visa. So we do have info sessions once or twice a year with consular officers that will give you up-to-date information on visas. And step number 5, prepare for your departure. So we have our pre-departure orientations, which help you, well, basically understand what you will be living when you arrive to the United States. Where do you have to go, who to talk to, if you're in any trouble, or what paperwork you need to have ready, all that. So we at Education USA help you throughout step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We help you in all of these steps. What we want to is see you studying in the United States. Okay, so now we begin our session on essay writing tips and guidelines with Fabiola Calderon from NYU Abu Dhabi and the Institute of International Education. Fabiola, thank you very much. Go ahead.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you. Great introduction. I mean, it's awesome all the work that you do at Education USA, and I always refer them to you because you are an amazing institution for students and a great research and opportunities for them. So thanks a lot for all the work you do, and also for having us as American universities participating in this kind of webinars. So once again, my name is Fabiola, and I represent NYU, New York University, but the coolest campus, I would say, the unique one, the best one for me, not because I work for Abu Dhabi, but it is really a great campus. And but still, it's an American university. The only thing is that it's based outside the United States. So, but still, the whole application process and everything has to be done as if you're applying to an American university, right? So basically, you will have to do well, most of the, like over 900 universities in the United States uses the common application in order to gather all the information from all the students that are applying, right? So you can apply as many as you want, but you will have to do so through the common application most probably. And within the common application, there's an extra component, a very, very important one, the essay. The common application offers 7 different prompts. I would say there are 6 and 1 is free, but you might end up writing about one of the 6 above instead of doing one for free. I don't know, you decide. So, but that's why we are doing this webinar today, and I want you to leave with a lot of information and great advice in order to write your common application essay, right? And moreover, some universities, they actually require supplementary essays. So we're gonna cover a little bit on that as well. So we can actually move to the next slide, Miguel. Thank you, Daniel. Awesome. So very important. Why does essay matter? Why universities in the United States are asking me to write an essay, right? So this is a perfect opportunity for you to speak in your essay to the admissions committee or the admissions officers, right? Of course, they receive a lot of applications and a lot of essays. So what they want to see is beyond what you already input within the common application. This is a perfect opportunity for you to demonstrate who you are, what are your interests, where you picture yourself for the rest of your life or for the next 5, 10, 15 years. So that's why the essay is extremely important, and that's the reason why they want you to write it, okay? This is where the admissions officers, they will actually learn something new from you. So in the common application, you will start inputting all your information from demographics, from your high school, transcripts, recommendation letters, everything that's in there, right? So they already know, they already review that information, but we want to learn more about you and why you are applying to this specific university. So it's a perfect opportunity for them to learn and meet you in a different way. And more also, it's the right time for you to tell an extremely exciting and story. What they want to see is that you are yourself and you tell us a story, and reason why we want you at our university, or you could be the right fit for our university, okay? And speaking about fitting for universities, this is a perfect time for them to see if really you're applying for this university because of a specific reasons, because of a specific I don't know, majors, minors, number of students, study abroad programs. You know, each university is different, but that's the reason why the essay really, really matters. But most important, can we go to the next one? Thank you. So you actually have total control over this part of the application. This is a perfect opportunity for you to write and to be, here's my essay, this is who I am, and therefore I want to belong to, in this case, for example, NYU Abu Dhabi, right? Or Oxford, Yale, Harvard, MIT, DePaul University, Columbia College, UCLA, whatever the university that you're applying to, this is a perfect time for you to demonstrate that you have total control of the application and to demonstrate who you are. Talk to them. And also, what they want to, the admissions officers, they want to see that they read your essay and they want to be, wow, perfect. Yes, I love this story and I want to meet this person tomorrow. Okay, so we can jump to the next one. Awesome. Thank you, Daniel. So what's going on with the essay? Where should I start? What should I do? What's this essay thing? Okay, so the most important part or the reason why the essay exists, it's because it helps the university to also learn about you and your English skills, okay, your writing abilities. It's totally different to write an academic essay than an application essay or write something in your journal, right? So all your English abilities and your writing skills, they can be portrayed in your essay. So that's why the admissions officers require the writing essay. So please pay attention to grammar and spelling. It's extremely, extremely important that you don't miss something because they do take a look at it. And if they see something like that in terms of grammar, they will be like, whoa, I don't think this student is prepared to be taking part of a full English program or an English university or something. So really, really pay attention to the grammar and the spelling. And if you have any questions in terms, like, for example, let's say that you're applying to NYU Abu Dhabi, outreach officers like me, we can guide you and help you and correct your grammar and spelling or give you some tips and ideas or guide you in the process, okay? So moreover, this essay should reveal who you are, okay? So each university has their motto, and that's why you're applying to that university, right? So use the essay, but write about who you are and what really matters to you, okay? Some people have this very interesting style and like funny style that can be probably like in a stand-up show or a stand-up show comedy or something. But if you are not that kind of student, if you're not funny or humor or whatever, well, this is not the time to use it. Just be yourself, use your voice, and write your essay in the way that you want to present to the admissions officer. Okay, so that's in speaking apart in content and style of the essay. Can we jump to the next one? Awesome. So where do we start? Okay, so remember I told you there's 7 topics, there's 7 prompts in the common application. You can actually type on Google commonapp.org, that's the website, and then on the right on the top it says like common application essays. That's where you find each of them. Okay, there are 7, 6 of them they have a component, 1 of them it's free. So actually focus on writing about this specific one that you feel more connected to, because it's tough. You're not gonna write your essay the day before the application. I hope you don't. But however, I met students that they wrote their essay the day before the application deadline, and one of them got admitted. But this was like one case in a million. Okay, so don't do it. Take your time and start focusing on writing on specific details on the topic that you select. Okay, think about your goals and what you want the admissions officers to learn from you. Okay, and also another tip: write, type. Don't worry about the word limit. Just start writing. And also what I always recommend to the students is just that they start writing a short paragraph of each of the common application prompts, because that gives you a better sense and understanding of which one is the best for you and the one that you feel more connected to. So please write a paragraph on each, and then you can decide, okay, perfect. Yeah, I think I feel more confident with this one. So start writing. Probably in the beginning, you will be writing more than 650 words that are required for the common application essay, but don't worry, in the beginning, you might end up writing 1,500, 2,000 words, then moving on and start polishing your essay, start cleaning it out, correcting grammar, spelling, and then you will become with the final 650 words. Okay, so next slide, please. Okay, so speaking about what to write about, so just pick up the one that reflects more on you, that you are more confident with, and the one that allows you to tell a story. Okay, I'm just gonna give you a funny or like a really good example. I met this girl that she was applying to NYU Abu Dhabi. She's from Mexico, actually, from San Luis Potosí, and she started writing her essay about. There's this prompt about that speaks about diversity and your cultural identity and how it reflects on your life. So, well, she picked up that topic and then she started writing it as if it was her grandmother's recipe for chicken soup recipe, okay? And how each of these ingredients were her family, her friends, her education, her background, and everything, and combine it. But everything described as a recipe. So it was beautiful. And the admissions officers, they were like, wow, this is beautiful. I really want to learn more about your grandmother. I really want to taste your grandmother chicken soup. And I really want to meet you tomorrow morning in NYU Abu Dhabi, right? So it's a perfect time for you to tell a story, to combine it. Don't do it super strictly academic. It's just the perfect timing for you to write about yourself, reflect about yourself, and what you want from them to learn, okay? And also, after writing your essay, just make sure that what you're writing actually reflects or it's asked in the prompt, okay? Because sometimes you start writing and you think that you are using the right prompt, and like, let's say the one with a cultural background, identity, and everything. But then when you started writing it, you might end up writing it about number 5 or 6 or a free topic. Okay, so make sure that the prompt that you pick up, it reflects what you are writing about. Okay, and also very, very important, pick a right moment in time. Okay, don't go back. We as Mexicans or Latinos, we tend to go way back in the past and then come back and then speak about the future and like jumping from time to time. This is not the right time to do it. Focus on a very specific time of your life. If it can be in your high school life, it can be on your actual present life, or it can be sometime when you were a child. But focus on a very, very specific time. Don't write about your entire life story. Use the words wisely. Okay, you only have 650 words, so use them to really reflect on the prompt that you pick up and what you want the admissions officers to learn from you. Okay, and also very important, you remember the girl that I was telling you about the recipe? She was talking about her grandmother chicken soup recipe. Okay, yes, perfect. The grandmother was reflected in there. However, the whole essay was about her, not about her grandmother, okay? She only used it as an intro for the essay. So my recommendation, if you're gonna include other people, other family members, other friends, people that have helped you in your high school life or accomplish a goal that you had or something, don't just use them as an example, name them in their essay, but don't write about them, because this is not an essay about them. It's an essay about you and yourself and what the admissions officer needs to learn from you. They don't want to learn about your grandmother and her whole life. They don't want to learn about your whole 8 brothers, 10 brothers, siblings, whatever. No, they are not applying to university, right? It's you applying. So use these words wisely. Okay, so we can jump into the next one. Okay. Awesome. So that's another cool thing about what am I going to be writing about. You can write about an experience. Well, yes, if you're going to use it as an experience, just do your research, but it's not the story of somebody else. Okay. What if another person, what if I pass my essay to another person, and what are they going to do? No, that probably they will read it and they are going to be like, no, this is not right, this doesn't sound like you. People can tell you a lot of comments, give you feedback and everything, but in the end it's your essay and you should still reflect on what you really want to do. We can guide you, we can help you, with the grammar and the spelling part, but in the end it's you and the way that you are telling the story. Okay, so these are some of the misconceptions that some students have when writing the essay. Okay, so for example, don't use cliches. Okay, it's like a lot of students are a little bit confused in terms of the writing style and whatever. So it's just misconceptions. Okay, so for example, I never traveled to Fiji. So okay, you're 17, 16, 18 years old. Probably you never traveled to Fiji, you never climbed a huge and tall mountain. Well, don't worry about it, it's fine. You can write just about a story, a short story from your high school life, from a daily life, from your childhood or something. Don't worry about it. It's like a huge, or I never have found the cure of cancer. Well, don't worry, never have done it. So, well, just start writing about you and your stories, okay? What it is really important for you. And remember that the essay should not repeat the information that you already input in the common application, okay? Remember, use these words wisely. Use this space wisely and reflect and tell a story. Who you are, what you want to do, where you want to be, and why you are applying to this specific university. So just reflect on that and use it with more new information and not just only about cliches or crazy stories. Don't worry about it. If you don't have a crazy story, it's okay. It's okay. Probably you would think like, oh, my life is so boring. What am I going to write about? Write about a experience that you have yesterday or 2 years ago, or something that you are very excited about. It can be sports, it can be music, it can be your grades, it can be your journalism club, it can be an activity within your high school that you develop. I mean, there's so many things to write about. It doesn't have to be something, wow, crazy, out of this world, mind-blowing. No, it's just the way that you write it, the style that you use, and you're ready to go. Okay, so don't repeat information and tell your story. Can we jump to the next one? Awesome. So yeah, we're talking about the misconceptions, right? Remember that I told you, if you've never done anything crazy, well, don't worry about it. You're 16, 17, it's okay. It's okay if you haven't done something out of this world. I never jump out on a plane. What am I going to write about? So nothing really ever happened to me and I don't have a story to tell. We all do have a story to tell. Believe me, every single day that we talk to other people, that we talk to our parents, to our friends, it's like, oh my God, do you remember the time that we went to this shopping mall and we had such and such experience? Well, I mean, it was frustrating. Probably you can write about how you solve a problem within an experience of going to a shopping mall, or when you got your first driving license permit, or it can be any story that you want. We all have stories to tell. It's just the way that you portray them. Okay, so don't believe in the misconceptions. If nothing exciting happened to you, don't worry, just pick up something that you ever done. Can be from yesterday, from your 3 years ago, something funny within your family vacations, anything. I can think about a lot of topics that can be related to each of the common prompt essays. So just go for it, write about it, and portray it in a really nice way. So as I told you, when the admissions officers read it, it's like, oh my God, I want to meet this person. And speaking about that, that's another extra tip that I'm going to give you. So, for example, some of universities, they take the essay very seriously, right? Example, NYU Abu Dhabi reads very carefully each of the essays that are sent by their students. And that's a point, an extreme point of decision to really consider a student. Okay, so I have met students that they had perfect SATs, perfect IB curricula, grade scores. They have excellent English scores, right? Well, but their essay was very dull and a little bit boring. So they were like, oh my God, no, this is not the right fit for our university. So as Ariana Grande says, thank you, next. And it was dismissed. So consider to have a very successful application in terms of course, all your scores, your grades, your extracurricular activities, your common application, but put an extra effort in terms of the essay. Because universities like NYU Abu Dhabi, they do really care about the essay and they will read it carefully in order to say, yes, this could be the right person to be in an international environment, to be far away from home, far away from home, living away from home, living with other people, living with other cultures, dealing with other religions. So see, it has to be very specific for each campus that you're, or each university that you are applying, okay? So, and also that's another thing, each university will require the common application, but if you apply to the common application, this essay can be sent to each of these universities that you are applying. You can use the same essay or you can use a very specific one for each of the universities that you are applying, okay? Can we jump to the next one? That was just a quick tip for you. So think about it. Just really make a big effort in terms of the essay. Some do's and don'ts, what admissions officers want to see or what they don't want to see. So what they really want to see is that you really think about what you are writing about. You're really thinking and making an effort in order to accomplish a successful application essay, right? So that you're creative, that you have a passion for something, that you are curious about a specific topic, and then you're writing about it, that you have this genuine voice and passion for something, okay? Each prompt, it's designed for a very specific reason. Some of them are gonna be focusing more in terms of your problem solving skills. Some prompts are gonna be more focused on your ethical ideology in order to solve a problem. So each of the prompts have a very specific reason why they are asking these kind of questions. So make an effort, be curious, be outgoing, show that you have a passion for something. So for example, if you are in your high school and you came up with these new journalism for women in high school, a club about for writing. Okay, well, perfect. Talk about it, how you develop it, how you started. Probably was like 5, 6 girls. And now after 1, 2, 3 years before you're graduating, you already have 25 girls. I don't know. It's just ideas that I'm just gonna popping out of my mind. But show that passion, show that creativity, show that real thinking on what you're writing. What they don't really want to see is that you have the point of view of a 40-year-old person. Just be yourself. I mean, don't write very in an elevated English grammar and the specific things that you are gonna be portrayed as a 40-year-old person, because we know that you're not. So you're 16, 17, you have adventures, you have different topics to write about. So don't feel pushed that you have to be very specific and like super oriented towards a topic, or like, no, don't worry about it, just tell us your story. Also, what they don't want to see is this the use or overuse of thesaurus language. Oh, that's so boring. That they hate it. They hate this super exotic and fancy thesaurus language words that we know that are probably not in your vocabulary, especially if you're an international student. So avoid those just writing in your own style. Okay. So also what they don't want to see is that you think you write about what we are supposed to hear. Not really. We want to hear from you. Don't think that we have already specific things, and if this student doesn't match these specific check marks, it's not going to be admitted. Not really. So just be yourself. Again, be yourself. Write your story. And also what I was mentioning, you don't write about parents, family, and grandmother stories. They are not applying to NYU Abu Dhabi, so don't include them in your essay. Use them as an example, but don't write about their lives because they are not the one applying. And also don't go back in time to your birth story and then going back and forth and in time. Okay, that's very overwhelming for them, especially when they are reading over how many 5,000, 6,000 essays. Believe me, these are the things that they don't want to see. Okay, can we jump to the next one? Awesome. So this is actually a paragraph that it's on the Common Application website. Okay, so I'm just gonna read it so you got a sense of what it is, the Common Application essay. So the essay demonstrates your ability to write clearly and concisely on a selected topic and helps you distinguish yourself in your own voice. What do you want the readers of your application to know about your apart from courses, grades, and test scores? Choose the option that best helps you answer that question and write an essay of no more than 650 words, using the prompt to inspire and structure your response. So remember, 650 words is your limit, not your goal, but use the full range if you need it, but don't feel obligated to do so, okay? And very, very important, the application won't accept a response shorter than 250 words, okay? So something above 250, but less than 650. 650, it's the limit, but it's not required that you actually write 650 words, okay? Just have these keywords in mind, be clearly, be concise, and distinguish from other students that are applying, and very important, no more than 650 words. Can we jump to the next one? Perfect. So also very important, some universities are requesting a supplementary essay, okay? And on top of the Common Application essay, you still have to write a supplementary essay. So this is very specific for each university that you are applying. Each university that you're applying has different ideologies, different backgrounds, different a student body, or I don't know, a study abroad programs, international components. Like in the case of NYU Abu Dhabi, it's an extremely international campus. 80% of the students that attend NYU Abu Dhabi, they come from all over the world. Only very few are actually from the Emirates. So the supplementary essay would be more interesting if you write about your international mindset and how you would use these cultural, the love to learn about new languages or the love to learn about new cultures, and reflected on your supplementary essay, right? But probably you wouldn't use this same supplementary essay to apply to a university that it's very local, that it's in a small town in the United States, let's say Ohio State University, or I don't know, those are huge universities too, but the ideology, it's totally different for each. So write a separate essay for each of university that you are applying. Be very, very specific. So I'm just speaking in terms of NYU Abu Dhabi, right? So as I mentioned, you very international, people over 100 nationalities are represented. So I have to write something very, very specific, or actually that's something to keep in mind. Do a lot of research about the campus or the university that you are looking for. So I don't know, let's say that you notice that they have a very specific engineering program or bioengineering program. The more specific that you know, that you learn from the university, the more that it's going to help you in the supplementary essay. Okay, so they do have a class for bioengineering with a study abroad program in Sydney, Australia. Well, I can use that for my advantage and start writing my supplementary essay about how important it's bioengineering in my life. Why do I want to travel to visit the mangroves in Sydney, and how these I'm gonna use it for my research opportunities that I want to pursue after I graduate. You know, you have to be very specific. The more you learn from the university that you're applying, well, the more it's going to help you to land a successful supplementary essay. Okay, or if you hear about a specific professor that have taught in New York and in Shanghai, and like he's an outstanding business person, I don't know, businessman, very famous person, but it happens to be a professor of NYU Abu Dhabi, well, then use it to your advantage and start writing about how you learn about that, why you want to take that class in particularly, why you want to meet and collaborate with this person closely, you know, be very, very specific. Also, just learn about the university, do your research, do a lot of research in terms of that, and just be very clear, use grammar in a very great way, I would say, and just don't go just with the general and basic information that you would see on their website. No, like for example, yeah. So I love New York, and it's one of my favorite cities, and that's the reason why I'm applying to NYU. Like, we know that already. We know New York, it's one of the coolest cities in the world. People know already that a lot of people want to live in New York. Well, but what else is beyond that? Okay, so that's only for the supplementary part. We can jump into the next one. We're getting close to our presentation end, Boyd. So be very specific. So for example, this is an example that we used in order for students to apply into NYU Abu Dhabi, right? So I'm just gonna read it for you so you get a sense of what I'm talking about, what it's to be very specific. So why are you applying? The essay, it's why you are applying to NYU Abu Dhabi. Okay, so I'm applying to my dream school because it's ranked #1 and it's the best. That's example #1. And if the admissions officers read these, they will be like, okay, yeah, we know that we are the #1. Reason why you are applying. Yeah, we know that we are the best in the States, in Abu Dhabi or in Shanghai, but what else, right? So example #2, it says, my high school history teacher taught us about the Cold War by sharing his experience of living in post-Soviet Russia. He taught us about European history by talking about his experience living in Paris. We learned about our history by hearing about the museums we had visited in Florence. I was in awe of the way he had learned about the world, and now on NYU Abu Dhabi, it's my chance to do this. I want to learn about Ethiopia through a roommate from Addis Ababa. I want to learn about China through a J-term class in Shanghai. I want to learn about the marine environment while kayaking through the mangroves in Abu Dhabi. Right? Even for me reading it, it gives you a totally different perspective, right? or at least every time that I read these, I read it a lot of times, but every time I read this paragraph, I can picture it. I can get a sense of all these study abroad programs in Paris and how I want to have a roommate already, why I want to be in Shanghai learning about business or J terms and keywords that are perfect for the admissions officers so when they can read it, they know that you made your research, that you are being very specific and you want to belong to that university. Okay, so this is just a very random example about being specific for the supplementary essays. Can we jump into the next one? Awesome. Well, okay, so I think that was the last slide. but I hope that you end up getting all the information that you need. Of course, we do have other webinars, just very specific to NYU Abu Dhabi, that you can always reach out to us as well. And we can go actually through each of the common application prompts and review each of those prompts with different examples, so you get a sense of where you can start writing about. Okay, so but I think right now this is just key points for you, words, keywords, and examples for you to start writing your common application when you're applying.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, so now we jump to our Q&A session. So everybody, if you want a question to be answered by Fabiola or by myself, go ahead and write it in the chat box and we'll get to that question as soon as possible. So first, we have a couple questions here. May we write the essay in the format of a short story? If so, can we include dialogue? Oh, Fabiola, you're muted.
Sorry. So what was the question again? Can you repeat it?
May we write the essay in the format of a short story? If so, can we include dialogue?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of students that they use quotes in their essays. And so, yes, of course, you're encouraged, like, yes, quoting my grandmother or quoting my father, and just write down the short line or something about the dialogue that they have. Yes, it's a style. It's a style of writing. Remember, it's not academic. It's not has to be like a specific New York Times kind of article for the New York Times. No, it's just it's a style. It's your story.
Exactly. So the idea is to tell your story, be as creative as you can, as long as you can put your point across. If people can understand what you say and are hooked by your story, which is very important, because I mean, the universities, they read how many, Viola? Hundreds?
So many thousands of
thousands of
imagine.
essays. So yeah, you got to make your essay eye-catching, something that from the beginning will hook that the person who's reading it, so they want to continue reading it because they have hundreds more after yours, and you wanna stand out. So yes. We have another question here. From what I understood, the first line of the essay is one of the most important in order to hook our reader. What would be a good start for an essay? In other words, what would be a good topic to begin with?
Wow, that's a good question. Topics are very broad. You can write about anything that you can think of. Depends on the common application prompt that you're using. So that's an important part. That's why I was telling you, start writing about all of them, and then you pick up the one that it's more close to you and the topic that you're selecting matches the common application prompt. So I don't know, the example that I gave you from this girl using the grandmother chicken soup recipe, you wouldn't even think about chicken soup for a application essay, right? But the topic was so engaged, it was like engaging everybody. So it was a good topic, but it can be anything. It can be a high school activity that you develop, a visit to a mall, as I was mentioning you, how frustrated you were because the parking lot was full, and how you are gonna so there's one coming up, and I'm using this example about the shopping mall too, because it's a random topic. However, it matches your problem solving skills, and also you can reflect on what you want to do for your future, right? So perhaps you were thinking about urban planning. Well, how would you use this topic about going to a shopping mall, which the parking garage is full, but you're going to solve it because you're going to go for urban planning major, and you're going to develop different style of parking garage. I don't know, something like that. So it can be any topic. really, any topic.
Yeah, if I could add to that, just like the first, it's not necessarily the first line, the first paragraph, which is your introductory paragraph. That's the one where you want to make that big impression, that big hook. That's that thing that makes you want to continue reading. So sometimes what you want to do is maybe kind of like summarize the a challenge you had. So if you're going to talk about a challenge you had, maybe summarize it in, don't give away the whole thing, the ending, just give us like a taste. Like, for example, there's sometimes some shows, some like series shows or movies, they start with, you're probably wondering how I got myself into this problem, something like that, right? They give you a little taste of it, and then they'll go back and explain the rest, like what came before that and up until now. So try to think about something, a part of your essay that you can summarize and you can give them like, oh, I'm going to talk about this, and that's going to be like the eye catching, the hook. That's a strategy that helps a lot. But there are different strategies, so explore. And you can also again, if you need any help, we at Education USA, we can share resources with you that'll help you, give you any ideas. There are sample essays, anything. That's another thing you can do, just read other essays and see, okay, they're doing this, and try to follow that prompt, right? All right, so another question here. If we write different drafts, what advice would you give to choose the right one? Who should read it first? Good question.
Good question, good question. Well, as Daniel was saying, Education USA give you the resources in order to achieve a successful essay, right? So you can get close to them, talk to them, and here's my essay. Can you just read it and give me some advice? That could be your first point of contact, right? Some other people have used family members. Okay, so here's my essay. I want you to read it. Give me your comments. Give me your opinion on this. Some other students have reached out their English professors. That's like, can you help me with your grammar, with my spelling? So you can use different people in order to achieve a successful one. What I would definitely recommend is just like having one or two people only reading your essay, because if you pass it along with all your friends, family, and these people and these other institution or friends or whoever it is, the more comments you're gonna get, the more feedback you're gonna receive, and then probably it can turn out to be very overwhelming because you are gonna lose the sense of what you really wanted to do, or it would lose the essence of your story and how you started writing your essay. And you're going to start hearing a lot of different comments, change this, change that. Well, now your essay, it's an essay of a totally different person, right? So my recommendation is just like one or two people the most, the one that you feel more close to, the one that has like an English background that can help you with the grammar and the spelling. And but even though if you get a lot of feedback, still make it your own, use your own voice, and use your story on how you actually end up or starting writing your essay. Okay, so people can correct you the style, the grammar, the spelling, but don't lose your essence. What do you think, Danny? I don't know. Maybe I'm just
No, that's great. I mean, definitely, yes, I agree with not asking for too many opinions, because that can be overwhelming. I mean, if you are going to do that, just keep in mind that there are going to be a lot of, you have to be kind of like disciplined to understand what to take from each person, and not overwhelm yourself with that many opinions. I'd say ask someone who kind of like in the academic circles, and so also, I mean, maybe two people, three people, somebody that knows you, like maybe your parents or your best friend or somebody that can say, oh, wait, so why don't you talk about this? You did this. Sometimes we don't we're too modest, and we forget about things we do, the great things we do. And you can sit down and think, oh man, I've never done anything great in my life. And you ask your friends, obviously, if you ask your parents, or usually, they'll say, oh my God, you do so many great things, and they'll list so many things, and maybe you can find something there that you can work with. So yeah, I'd say yeah, check with someone that knows you well, and somebody in the academic circles that knows about essays. Here at Education USA, we can definitely help you with resources. We only revise essays with if we're advising you, if you're doing the whole process with us from beginning to end. We do give essay revisions if if we have enough time to do so, we will. The reason we don't do it, so we don't just revise anybody that sends me an email randomly, hey, check my essay, please. We don't do that. But if you are having a continuous advising process with us, we will try our best to give you to check your essays as well. So definitely come to us. We can help you out, and we will help you out in any way we can. Any other questions? Let's see on Facebook Live. We don't have questions on Facebook Live. All right. So if you think about another question, just write it down in the chat while I'll change the slide to our last slide, which is our thank you slide. So if you want any more information on Education USA, if this is your first time with us, then you can check us out at educationusa.state.gov. If you have any questions, if you want to start with your advising, if you already started but you want to continue with, if you already started by yourself, if you started your process but you want to start the advising process with us, you can also contact us. Any questions you have at any moment, you can write us at monterrey@educationusa.org. Please make sure to follow us on social media, because we're constantly posting information on the whole advising process. We're posting opportunities, scholarship opportunities, special programs, and these webinars and info sessions that we have in person. Any special event, we will be promoting those in our social media constantly. And finally, we have our WordPress page, which is our resource page. You can jump directly into that and follow all our digital resources. We do have, again, physical resources at Biblioteca Benjamin Franklin in Relaciones Culturales Centro in Monterrey. So if we do, okay, so yeah, and also follow Institute of International Education on Instagram, which is at IIELAC. It's in the chat box. Make sure to follow us all. And so I guess this is it. We don't have any more questions. Fabiola, thank you very much for an excellent presentation. Those were a lot of great tips. And for everybody else, just make sure and ask us if you need anything. We're here to help you, right?
Yes, and thank you, Danny, for all the amazing work that you do in promoting higher education institutions in the US. So congratulations.
It's our pleasure.
Yes, and thank you everybody that joined this webinar. And of course, any questions that you have, please feel free to reach out to us as well. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.